Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, in a cozy cottage at the edge of a vast forest, lived a poor woodcutter with his 2 children, Hansel and Gretel. A terrible famine swept the land, and there was very little to eat. One evening, their stepmother said to their father, "There are too many mouths to feed. We must lead the children into the forest and leave them there." Hansel and Gretel, in their little bed, overheard the terrible plan. Gretel began to weep silently. "Don't cry, Gretel," Hansel whispered, hugging her. "I will find a way to bring us safely home." After the house was quiet, Hansel slipped outside. The moon was a bright silver circle in the sky, making the white pebbles in the garden sparkle. He quietly filled his pockets with the smooth, shining stones until he couldn't carry any more. The next morning, their stepmother gave them each a tiny piece of bread and led them deep into the woods. As they walked, Hansel lagged behind. Every few steps, he would stop and drop one of the shiny white pebbles from his pocket onto the mossy path. Deep in the forest, their stepmother and father built a small fire and left them. When night fell, the moon rose high in the sky. Its light bounced off the pebbles Hansel had dropped, creating a glowing path. "Come," Hansel said to Gretel, "the stones will show us the way home." When they returned home, their father was filled with joy, but their stepmother was secretly angry. Soon, the famine grew worse. One night, she locked the door so Hansel could not gather pebbles. The next day, she led them into the forest again, but this time, all Hansel had was the small crust of bread from his breakfast. As they walked, Hansel broke his bread into tiny crumbs and scattered them on the path. But when they tried to follow the trail back that night, it was gone. The hungry birds of the forest had eaten every last crumb. Hansel and Gretel were lost and alone. They wandered for 3 days until they followed a snow-white bird to a clearing. In the middle of the clearing was the most wonderful house they had ever seen. It was made of gingerbread, with a roof of cake and windows of sparkling sugar. "We can eat it," Gretel shouted with delight. As they were nibbling on the delicious house, the door creaked open, and a very old woman hobbled out. "Well, well, my little dears," she said with a toothy smile. "Are you hungry? Come inside, come inside. I have sweets and warm beds for you." But the kind old woman was really a wicked witch. She grabbed Hansel and threw him into a cage. "I will fatten you up and eat you," she cackled. She forced Gretel to cook and clean and prepare feasts for her brother. The witch was impatient. One day, she heated the big oven. "See if it is hot enough," she ordered Gretel. Gretel knew this was a trick. "I don't know how," she said. "You silly goose," the witch grumbled. "Like this." As the witch peered into the oven, Gretel gave her a giant push and slammed the heavy iron door shut. Gretel freed Hansel, and before they left, they found chests full of pearls and precious jewels. They filled their pockets and ran as fast as they could, away from the forest. At last they saw their little cottage. Their father ran to them, crying with happiness. Their wicked stepmother was gone, and with the witch's treasure, they never knew hunger again.